Hello everyone, my name is GiantSys92. I stream on Twitch from time to time, and this is a speed run of mine over Fable The Lost Chapters. I have already done the run. I'm now just going back over the video and trying to make a narration over it. I won't really talk the whole time since I'm really new. This is actually my first narration, but I will chime in from time to time as I feel like something needs to be explained. I wanted to start out by saying that the quality of the video is really low because this is a stream that I did on Twitch, and I'll also drop frames quite a bit. I just got kind of a cruddy internet quality, or internet speed, and then also the sound was pretty bad, so I cut the entire sound, which kind of gave me the opportunity to be able to narrate over this video. Okay, so you can see that I roll around a lot, and rolling around is just faster than running, so you'll see me rolling around pretty much the entire run until I get Assassin Rush, and then I'll do a combination of that and rolling. There's nothing really tricky about the childhood segment of the run, so this is just the fastest route to get the chocolates to give to your sister, and then right here you'll see that I'll be rolling trying to dodge the guards because I did take the bribe from the cheating husband, and that makes the guard chase after me and try to teach me a lesson. Okay, so once you're done training your melee and you start training your archery and your will, you can talk to the guildmaster before he actually gets to the sites, and it'll teleport you there. There's also another glitch. You probably saw me punch Whisper 3 times and were wondering, well, why do you hate Whisper so much? It's because once in the guild, when you're training, when you hit people 4 times, you get teleported to Maze's office, or whatever his room is called, for being bad. But for some reason, during these timed tests of your skill, if you hit the guildmaster 4 times, that cutscene will cancel out the rest of the time, and he'll just be like, "What do you think you're doing?" And then he'll ask you if you want to be done training, and so it's like a little skip. Okay, this is where I learned the spell Assassin Rush. I actually think I miss it the first time, and then I have to run back and do it again. Anyhow, Assassin Rush teleports you behind an enemy or a friendly target, but if there's not a target, it just teleports you forward, and you can use that in conjunction with rolling to move as quickly as you possibly can. And then the higher you rank up Assassin Rush, the further it'll take you when you use it. The only problem with Assassin Rush on the computer version, this doesn't happen on the new Fable Anniversary, which I have also done a run on. The problem with it on this game is that it'll, when a person is glowing, like it has a blue or a red outline around them, the Assassin Rush will rush towards them, and then that can also happen if they're kind of close to your screen, so it can happen off screen. So you'll see me sometimes, I'll roll more times than I normally do because somebody is kind of close, and I'm afraid that the Assassin Rush will go towards them, which could take me even backwards, which is really frustrating at times. Okay, so there's a trick coming up once I get to Bowerstone South, and it's the buy-sell abuse, which I do 4 times, I think, in this run. This first time, I will be buying and selling pies from this trader. The way this exploit works is that when a trader has a lot of something and you buy all of it, they'll sell it for relatively cheap. But if they don't have any of it, and you want to sell a lot of it to them, they'll buy it for a lot. So obviously, if you buy a lot of something from somebody and they sell it to you for cheap, then you sell it to them, and they want to buy it for a lot, you could just, you could buy it and sell it, buy it and sell it. In this instance, I'm doing apple pies because you have exactly enough gold at this point in the game to buy all of the pies that he has. And then I need to get, I think I get about 8,700 gold. I buy all of his mana potions because you need, or will potions. You need a ton of will potions for this run. And then you also need, I also need resurrection files because I'm not the greatest at this game. And then I need a spade and a fishing rod. And then the reason, and that doesn't cost 8,700 gold. What I do after this is that I talk to Maze, and then I talk to the weapons seller, and I buy the obsidian greatsword and the ebony longbow. The obsidian greatsword allows me to take out Twinblade pretty quick whenever I do that quest, and then the ebony longbow allows me to one-shot the guards on this next quest, which is attack Orchard Farm. There's something else I kind of wanted to say about this exploit and why it's so important to the run. This run, according to SDA and every other YouTube video that I've seen of a speedrun on this, goes off of in-game time as opposed to real time. That being said, when you're in any kind of menu, whether you're leveling up spells, or buying and selling, or if you pause the game, the in-game timer doesn't go anymore. But the real time obviously does. And I have a timer here just as a reference. But yeah, that makes it pretty important in the run. Okay, now before I go back to the guild, I'm going to go into this person's house and steal an Ages of Strength potion. Ages potions give you experience based on what kind of potion they are. This is a strength potion, so I will get strength experience from it. The way the experience amount works is that it gives you 1,000, and then if you have a combat multiplier, for every one combat multiplier you have, it'll give you another 1,000 experience. So if you have 9 combat multiplier, which is my goal for Orchard Farm, it'll give you 9,000 experience and strength. Something I do here is take the quest and boast, because I can't teleport to Orchard Farm and I don't need to level up any skills. And so it ports me to the lookout point, and then I spam right click to get rid of the menu as quick as I can and make my way to Orchard Farm. Okay, I stop here real quick to fish for a Ages of Skill potion, which does the same thing as the Ages of Strength potion, but gives me skill experience instead, which I'll be using in conjunction with my Ages of Strength potion at attack on Orchard Farm. Okay, now here I'm going to get what I believe is called the Will Master potion. It just increases my will pool by a certain amount. And then right before I go into the quest, I'm going to equip my ebony longbow, but not my obsidian greatsword. I'm going to keep my iron sword. The reason for that is you have to have a physique of 3 or higher to swing the obsidian greatsword at a normal speed. And in order to complete this quest, I have to hit Whisper with a melee attack and then with a flourish, which will be faster on my iron sword since I can swing it a lot quicker. Okay, so this quest is by far the trickiest quest at the beginning of the game because there's kind of a trick involved. At the beginning you have these two bandits that follow you into the shed, and you gotta get these crates. So you let one grab the crate, and then you talk to the other guy a bunch. You just distract him so that he doesn't leave with the other bandit, and then you can kind of push him in to the crate so that once the other bandit leaves the area, the one that you have with you will pick up a crate as quick as it can. And then you have to kind of pan your camera so that you can't see the beginning of this instance. And then once this bandit that's about to grab a crate gets to a certain point, you have to run out, and hopefully, this is kind of an RNG-ish thing, but the first bandit will come back and you'll be able to talk to him and distract him and get him to follow you into the shed. Hey. And then you have him halt right next to a crate so that when the second bandit leaves the area, he'll grab that crate. And then you kind of have to stand close to where the guards will appear. The other part of this trick is pretty tricky and important. You have to kind of wait around and you have to kill these guards and build up your combat multiplier to 6, but you don't want it to go down before the last guard leaves. But in that same deal, you have to kill him before he leaves so that you have 6 combat multiplier. Then you hit Whisper with a flourish, and then you shoot her 3 times with, or however many times with the ebony longbow, and get your combat multiplier to 9. That's by far the trickiest part, and that finishes the quest. And then you use your Ages potions as quick as you can, that way that you get 9,000 experience of each. That allows you to buy 3 physique and a few health, which I go ahead and buy. That way you can swing the Obsidian Greatsword. And then it allows you to buy 3 speed and 3 accuracy from the skill pool. And then you can buy, I believe, 1 multi-strike from Will, 1 physical shield, rank 2 assassin rush, and multi-arrow. And then I've heard of people barely being able to get a willpower upgrade, but I've never been able to get it. I actually barely get the other ones that I just named. Okay, so in this room, you're supposed to be stopped by a bandit, and he's going to say, "Pay me this toll, or I'm going to kill you." But instead, you just pull out your ebony longbow, you target him, and you kill him. That way it avoids that cutscene, and then you run. And the reason that we're not going straight back to the guild is because you can run to the Greatwood Cullis Gate, and that's like a checkpoint. You can teleport there now, which is really close to where this next quest is, which is the Trader Escort quest. Okay, so at the beginning here, I kill one of the traders. The reason that is one, it's more difficult to have two people following you, and then two, you get to a point where the traders get to a camp, and you have to wait in order to go to the next room for them to start following you again, because they're going to take a break at the camp, and it takes longer if you have two traders as opposed to one trader. So I kill one. Plus I haven't got to swing my obsidian greatsword yet, so that's always fun. Okay, the reason you need physical shield this early in the game is because of this part right here. These little bombs, or whatever they are, will knock you down every time you pass them, and the only way to avoid it without physical shield is if you shoot them, which takes a lot longer than just, you know, assassin rushing and rolling right on through it and not falling down or taking any damage. This is where I wait. I kind of look at the mini-map and wait for the green dot to start following me again in order for me to leave this place. Otherwise, he won't be following me when I leave, and that's never a good thing. This also is another reason why you need physical shield this early, is because you fight an earth troll up here who throws like rocks at you and stuff, and it's a lot easier to fight him whenever you get hit. If you don't fall down, if you don't have physical shield, you'll fall down if he hits you with a rock, and you just like blast him with multi-arrow until he dies, which is actually in the next room, not this room. Okay, I do this next part out of habit. Normally it's nighttime when I get to this part in the game, and you have to sleep in a bed in order for it to be daytime, so that whenever you go to Oakvale, which is the next room, you can buy mana potions from the shop, and it'll be open at the daytime. I don't really know if it was open and I just didn't need to sleep and I wasted time doing it, or if it was just barely closed. So either way, it wasn't a lot of time, even if it was wasted. Okay, normally in this part of the game you have to sneak past all of these guys in order to get past the gate that is open right now, but will close if any of these guys catch you. Instead, what you could do is that you could shoot them, you can one-shot them. If you don't one-shot them, it fails. But you can one-shot them with the ebony longbow, and it doesn't trigger them finding you. And you don't really have to sneak past anyone. You can kind of just run right on through, and it saves quite a bit of time. Okay, this is probably one of the more difficult spots in the run before Arena. What you have to do here is pick up 5 pieces of bandit armor so that you can sneak into the bandit camp. What makes it so difficult is that there's so many arrows and so many people that you're having to dodge the entire time that you're trying to grab these chests, and then you also have to grab an Aegis of Skill Potion, which is placed in a pretty awful spot. It kind of puts you into a corner, but you kind of have to do it anyways, so you'll see me get hit a lot during this. Okay, for this room you have to go in, you get an Aegis of Will Potion, which is I believe the first one in the game that you get, and then there's normally a guy that you can like bribe to give you a bandit seal, but it's faster to just shoot him in the head and one-shot him and then just go pick it up. So that's what I do. There are 2 ways to get past this next room. In the world record run that I think is the world record, he kills this guy who has a key who's like keeping 2 girls trapped. I bribed this guy to create a scene so that he'll distract the guards and the gate will be open. And I believe that's the faster route. And then you pick up an Aegis of Strength Potion and then you go in and start the Twinblade fight. In this fight, normally you kind of have to wait for Twinblade to do this really big slam, and then you can hit him in the back for a lot of damage. But in this run, I do this thing where I assassin rush behind him after every attack and do a little bit of damage, and then whenever he does the slam, it does the normal amount of damage. And this whole time I'm using multi-strike because it does more damage, of course. Okay, so here I changed it to the villager outfit because for whatever reason this guy will sell you his will potions for cheaper if you're not wearing a bandit outfit. The reason that I buy so many will potions is because you need them to keep regenerating your physical shield, and then you also need them for later on to do the buy and sell exploit, which instead of doing with pies you start doing with potions after this point in the game. Okay, so there wasn't really anything tricky about that portion of the run. You just go up there. You have to know the order of the stones so that you can hit him and spell his name. Now, instead of going back to the guild, I run all the way from here to the Knothole Glade because it has a Cullis gate and you can teleport straight there once you pick up the quest for the White Balverine. Also, before I get to Knothole Glade, I make a pit stop at the Temple of Avo, and then I teleport to Bowerstone South, and I do an exploit where I buy and sell will potions, which I told you about earlier. In this case, I buy and sell until I have 33,000 after I buy potions. I have to, in the end, I still have to have the mana potion, so I don't die. So I have 33, I go back to the Temple of Avo, and then I donate at least 33,000, which I just donate all of my gold. And then you get the Sentinus, which is a really strong weapon, but you only use it for the arena. Okay, I just fished for a Master Will Potion to increase my will pull, and now I made it to Knothole Glade. Now that I'm here, I teleport back, and I learn Inflame 2 ranks. I actually don't think I can afford both ranks, but you try to buy 2 if you can. If you can only buy 1, it's not a big deal. You, at this point, for this quest, you only use it to build combat multiplier so that you can use your Aegis of Strength, Will, and Skill. And you should have 2 Aegis of Will potions at this point, which becomes extremely helpful before the arena. This part's just a little weird because you kill the Balverines in 1 hit, and I do a pretty poor job of it. But then you'll see me look at the gate over and over. For whatever reason, it may just be all in my head, but I can't get the Balverines to spawn unless I look at the gate and then turn around, and it's really weird. And you'll hear like a horn of I don't know, like an alert horn or whatever it's called that lets you know that a Balverine's coming. Also, at this point in the game, if I haven't done it already, I should be equipping my Iron Sword, and that's because when you're fighting the Balverine at this point, where you have to hit him 10 times, I do it with my bow most of the time, but you can also do it with your sword, and you want to do it with the sword that swings the fastest, because it doesn't really matter how much damage you're doing to it, it just matters how fast you're able to hit it. Alright, take 2 on that. Okay, now that I put the silver augmentation in my bow and I've chased the white Balverine out of town, it's time to go kill the white Balverine, which becomes pretty tricky because you have to keep your combat multiplier up. You have to actually get it to, I do it to at least 19, and I typically get 19 every time. You can go up, I've gotten up as high as like 22 at this point, and then you need to use your potions. If you fail to do that, it pretty much ends the run. It gets really tricky because it keeps doing like a cutscene thing, which loses your target, which is really frustrating because he starts summoning all of these normal Balverines, which you don't want to kill because you need to use Inflame on them. And this is the point that you start. This is why you get Inflame at this part of the game, so you can use it on all of these spawned Balverines until you get a high enough combat multiplier to use your potions. Right there, what I should have done, instead of running back into Knothole Glade and making this journey all the way back to the quest giver, is that you should immediately guild seal back into Knothole Glade, and that puts you right where that blue Cullis Gate is, and it gets you real close to the quest giver, which is who you talk to finish the quest. So that's something that I could have done to save more time. Okay, at this point, now that I've used all those potions, I have a lot of spells I need to get. I have to level up Inflame to 3, that's super important. You have to have Slow Time, just at level 1. Then you need to have Berserk at level 2. And then the rest of it's pretty optional. I think I go with, I up my physique. That's the only thing I up in strength at this point onward. And then skill, the important one on that one is speed. And you want to get that to 7 before the prison quest, because you have to do a race and it helps you run faster and it optimizes your run. So I try to get speed. I think I can get it to 6 at this point. And then I get multi-strike, I believe, and then I might get a multi-arrow. I can't exactly remember. But after you get the essential ones that I listed first, you pretty much can get what you want, with keeping in mind that you have to get 7 speed before you get to the prisoner race. Okay, so now before I go to the arena, I have to go to Lady Grey's house, and in her house you kill a bunch of zombies or undead with your Sitness, which is super awesome. Then you get an Aegis of Strength and an Aegis of Skill, which you'll use in the arena at the Bandit phase, as long as you have a combat multiplier of, I go 30 or higher, but you can go all the way up to 40, which I've never done. I've only gone up to like, I don't know, what, 35, 36. But you can go up pretty high. But that's when you want to use these potions that you're about to get. Okay, so here is another buy-sell exploit. You're gonna buy and sell will potions until you have all the will potions and you have 70, I think 72,000 gold, 75,000 gold is what I go for. And then I buy the master longbow, and then I buy, there's a bunch of augments. I buy the first 3. I think there's 2 sharpening, and then I'm not exactly sure what the other one's called, like 1 lightning or something, but it's the first 3 damaging augments that you will add onto your master longbow and then equip it. And this will be the longbow that you keep for the rest of the game. So as soon as you're done getting the master longbow, which you can kill this Balverine with, you want to talk to the guard that I already talked to, and then you kind of just wait around and wait for a cutscene to happen that lets you go into the arena. Okay, so I'm going to go through the arena and probably narrate most of it. The first round is just Wasp. You use Inflame and you one-shot every round, and there's nothing really too tricky about it. Okay, now we're in the Hobbs portion of the arena, and in this section you also only use Inflame the entire time, making sure that you keep your physical shield up. And then I go for the little range guys first, just because they hit me more often than anyone else. And then they take one, most of them take one, and then the big guys, there'd be big red ones that take like 3 Inflames to kill, but it's pretty much the same as the Wasp in difficulty. Okay, so once you're done with all the rounds, except for the Wasp round, because your combat multiplier is very high, I spam Mana Shield, because your combat multiplier is above 20 pretty much every time, and it's just another way for you to get will experience. Alright, Balverine portion. Balverine portion, for the first 2 rounds, because it's only black Balverines, you just use Inflame, because it kills them in 2 Inflames. The third wave on, when you start encountering white Balverines, you use your Sentinus, which destroys Balverines, and then you go into Berserk, multi-strike, and then whip out your Sentinus, and I think it takes 2 hits for each of the white Balverines, maybe 3, I'm not exactly sure. Alright, the undead round. This is probably my favorite rounds because you don't have to use Berserk at all. Also, when I was using Berserk earlier, you may have noticed that I was rolling as immediately after I use it. It cancels the little animation for it, which takes like 5 seconds, maybe even longer to do it. Anyhow, for the undead, you don't need Berserk, but you do need multi-strike, only for the bigger undead, which you only see on wave 2 and onward. Alright, I do not like this round because this is the hardest round. The Bandit round. You only need Inflame for the first round, and then after that you need Berserk, Multi-Strike, and your Sentinus, obviously, if you're going to use Multi-Strike. And then you gotta use your will potions like crazy, because if you get hit ever, it like almost completely drains your mana. So I use quite a lot during this round, but I have over 100, I believe, at this point, so it's really not a huge deal. Also, at the last part of the bandits, you want to use your ages of, I believe, skill and will, or skill and strength. I think it's skill and will. And you want to make sure you have at least 30 combat multiplier. I believe I have 30, or maybe 32. I can't exactly see because my screen is really small while I'm doing the narration. But it makes this part of the arena very difficult, because if you lose your shield at all and you get hit, you go down 10, I believe 10 multiplier every time you get hit. So it'll completely destroy the rest of your run if you run out of physical shield at this point of the run. This is the Earth Troll round. I actually might like this one a little bit better than the Undead round, because it's pretty easy. They only take 2 hits, and you get to see your multi-strike go off. And correction, they only take 2 hits if you use multi-strike each time. The next round is the Stone Troll, which is pretty much the same as the Earth Troll, except it's much harder. A trick that I kind of realized with the Stone Troll is that they will look around their feet. They'll be like, you know, like, where are you, before they do this big ground pound. That's really annoying. With the Stone Trolls, if you use Assassin Rush, they'll have to look at their feet again before doing that animation. So for this one, I need to keep slow time up, multi-strike up every time, berserk up every time, and then I need to Assassin Rush like every 2 hits so that he'll look at his feet and not stomp and cause all these rocks to come out of the ground and block me from hitting him. Alright, it's time for Arachna. He's mildly tough. Sometimes it's annoying because he'll come out of the ground, like right on top of you. And it kind of puts you in a oh crap situation. You shoot him with your bow until he does this, where he's like glowing green. And then you charge at him, put on multi-strike, and get your melee weapon out. And you use multi-strike and hit him as much as you can. He shouldn't be able to do this move that he just did, where he puts his stinger into the ground. you should be able to get him to go into the next phase before then, but it took me just a little bit longer. It wasn't a huge deal. I don't really even know if it was a time loss. Once he goes down to the ground, you have to kill the baby scorpions with 1 inflame, and then put on multi-arrow. I go ahead and put on multi-strike because it stays on, and then I wait for him to pop up, which he does right here, right next to my face. So this fight went pretty well, or it went decently well overall. Okay, the Whisper fight, as you can see, is really buggy for me. Like, I'll get to points where I can, where it doesn't damage her anymore, especially after she asks you to stop, which is like right at this point. You'll hit her a bunch of times and her health just won't go down. I don't know why. It's my copy of Fable. I've seen other people do the run and she dies, just like when she's supposed to die. Mine never dies when she's supposed to die. So I kind of just hit her, and she randomly dies at some point. So this, I'm debating whether or not I need to leave. The benefit of killing her is not only the experience, but you become evil enough to buy Berserk 4, which I don't really think is true because I actually am still not able to buy Berserk 4 at this point. But I am able to buy Berserk 4 after the first Jack of Blades fight. So I think in future runs, because of my copy, which is really a bummer, I'm gonna just skip this. I'm just gonna let her live, which is frustrating. We must kill Whisper. Okay, at this point of the run, it's just kind of about remembering. You have to remember as soon as you're done with the arena to go teleport to Bowerfields, go to the Grey House, which does this cutscene, which is required for you to start this next quest, and then you can go to the guild and pick up the quest. Okay, so at this point of the run, I believe I need to buy Inflame 4, which costs a lot, but you gotta do it, because it destroys a lot of people. You need to buy Physical Shield, up 2 more ranks, and then by Berserk rank 3. I'm not able to on rank 4, and then skill you have to be able to buy speed all the way up to 7. It's super important, and then everything else is kind of like whatever you want. I buy physique. I'll probably buy multi-strike. I doubt I'll buy multi-arrow because most of these guys don't get hit by arrows anymore, except for Maze and the first Jack of Blades fight. But yeah, I kind of focus on melee. But the important ones are the first skill ones that I named, and speed at 7 is super important. Okay, so I'm in Battlefields North, and this is the last time, thank goodness, that I have to do any buy-sell trading, or buy-sell exploit. I buy and sell will potions until I hit 72,000, I believe, and then I can buy Soul's Greatsword, which is the strongest sword that you'll use in the game. So you'll have the sword and the bow at this point that you'll keep for the rest of the run. Okay, so you save the archaeologist, which you needed slow time and inflame forward for, and then you go straight to the zombie quest for Nordstrom's quest. You don't go back to the guild. So I believe I messed it up at this point, but you're supposed to go to this house, and there's two guys talking, and there's Nordstrom's helmet. You're supposed to grab that before you talk to this guy. I just mishit it, and it like kind of targeted him, but I was going for the helmet, so I ended up having to run back and grab the helmet. And then after this, you need 3 more pieces of Nordstrom's armor. They're always in the same spot. There's one in at a tombstone that's right off the start to the left, and then you fish for one, which is probably the hardest fish to catch in the game, and then you find one in a tomb, and then that's pretty much it for this part. This part you have to kill all the zombies. You have to wait for them to get on top of this little platform, otherwise they're invincible. So, and then you do that, every time you kill one, this little green deal will pop up, and then once all the green things pop up, you fight bigger zombies, and you kill 3 of those, and then you're done with the quest. And easy peasy. Okay, at this point, there's a little glitch where the boss that you're gonna fight in about, what, 10 minutes, pops up, but he doesn't really do anything. You can just see him, and he's not supposed to be there yet. And I'm hoping there's some kind of quest or glitch where you can fight him early and kind of like skip the entire prison. That would be unbelievable, and we would cut, what, 15 minutes or more off of my run, which is not like even the best run out there. So if anyone sees this and feels like looking into that, that would be really cool. So just a little note about the race is just make sure you take the shortcut. I've been doing this video as if it's like a tutorial, so I guess if anyone plans on doing a run, this wouldn't be a bad video to look at. But I do this little shortcut here, which saves me, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds tops. Okay, here you have to sneak in and read one of the books. The first book that you read won't have the key in it every time, no matter what key you pick. So you sneak in past him and you read the note on his board, and then you roll into him to get caught, and he just puts you at the beginning of the room. And then you can just run to the book and read it, and then you get thrown back in jail. Yay. Alright, so you're in here again. You do the same thing. You have to go read the post on the board again, then get caught again, and then read the second book. And you should get the key, and you can get the heck out of here. Okay, and now we fight the old toilet monster. This guy's pretty easy. I don't think there's anything like really tricky about him. You just kind of have to remember the fight. You use Inflame to kill tentacles, and then the tentacles kind of just come to you. Easy as that. After you kill all 4 tentacles, the head will pop up. You go into Berserk mode. Then you pull on Multi-Strike, get your Soul's Great Sword out. And then I think you can only hit him twice before he gets to half health, and then he just kind of sits there. I think I try to swing at him anyway, so it hits him, but it doesn't do any damage. Then you repeat the part with the tentacles, and then this time, when the head comes back up, you use slow time, and then you inflame him until he dies. If you don't slow time, he'll start shooting this crazy laser beam at you, and it'll hurt. So it's easiest just to do slow time and then inflame him until he dies, and then you're done. Toilet monster complete. Okay, so after the prison quest, which feels like forever because it is, you gotta go to Bowerstone, and you start going to where you were doing the trader escort quest, and you have to reactivate this ancient colossus, and then it takes you to Hook Coast, which is where you're gonna fight Maze at one point. So anytime, I don't know exactly how I did this run, I kind of messed it up a lot, but anytime I have to go to Maze's room, I try to stop by the vendor and get more will potions, because I will, or I can run out by the end of the run, which is detrimental to the run. Okay, so this fight is relatively easy. Something I hadn't really thought about is while at this point the guild master is like chanting something, and you'll kind of know when the chant's gonna end. I didn't ever think to just kill these wraiths before I started the maze fight. For the maze fight, you put on Berserk, multi-strike, and you attack him as fast as you can. If he has his mana shield on, you have to put on slow time and inflame him. That way he doesn't inflame faster than you. His inflame hurts, and that's pretty much the only annoying part of his fight was his inflame. You just hit him as much as you can before he teleports, and then you put on your bow and you shoot at him, and then he's gonna teleport twice. And then you pretty much just follow him, hit him with your sword if you're gonna be close, or inflame if he has his mana shield on, along with slow time, of course. And then if he's far away, you just shoot him with multi-arrow, and he's a decent fight. I've died to him once, but really is not too difficult. Okay, this is pretty much the end of the run if I were only playing Fable, but I have Fable the last chapter, so I'm going to have the expansion part of the game after this. At this point in the game, you follow Jack around to all the focus sites, and then you fight Jack of Blades at the guild, at the Heroes Guild, and that's pretty much the end of your run. So, or that is the end of your run if you're not running the lost chapters. Phase 1 of this fight is not too bad. The second phase is a little trickier, just because you have to push a lot of spells very quickly. Berserk, multi-strike, sword, one-shot all of these guys, and then you kind of start tearing into Jack of Blades. You pretty much hit him 3 times, and then he goes into a second phase, and you can't skip this cutscene. The thing about this phase is that you want to put on multi-strike and berserk. Berserk actually does up your range damage as well. Not everyone knows that. You want to put on berserk, put on multi-arrow, pull out your bow, and start shooting them like crazy, and try to dodge his spells. I do a terrible job at dodging his spells. I just get hit by every one of them. And then this one, where he does like this crazy light thing, you just want to tank it and just keep using your mana potions. As soon as you get the Sword of Aeons, you hit your sister with it. It's kind of funny because you don't actually use the Sword of Aeons. It's just faster to kill your sister. So this sword that's supposed to give you like all power, you get, but you only get it because it's just faster to kill your sister than it is to throw it into this little hole in the ground. Also, I wanted to say about that fight is that I use slow time at the beginning of it, just because it gives me a little bit more time to set up my berserk multi-arrow and pull my bow out, which I can get hit once if I don't use slow time before I do that. Okay, at this point I pretty much just up physical stuff. I am able to get my berserk maxed out, and I think I am able to get my physique. Yeah, I get my physique maxed out, and then that's pretty much it. And you don't level up anymore for the rest of the run, which is great. This quest is all about either memorizing or just being really fast at doing the absolute fastest route to turn all of these into whichever sign is faster. You don't actually care if you're saving them or if you're killing them. One of them, I think it's the third one, I mess up, so it takes me a little bit longer than it should have. I think I lose 8 seconds on this segment of the run. It's like, yeah, it is the third one. You're supposed to just kill them, but I kind of forgot, and so I sit there for a second trying to remember. So yeah, it's pretty much just all about memorization on this part, or being really good at this kind of puzzle. For this quest coming up, you put the fire heart, which you just got from the Sun Moon quest. You put it at the top of the lighthouse, and then you have to defend it from summoners. And whenever there's a bunch of people you can kill. You only need to kill the really big blue guys. I think they're called summoners. I'm not exactly. That may not be their exact terms, but you'll see the ones that I kill, and you only need to kill those. This may seem a little silly to say, but this little ice troll fight, I pretty much have to go left. It just seems easier to dodge his first attack, and then you just kind of melee him down with Berserk and Multi-Strike. Okay, this is where I waste the majority of the time that I waste on my run. This next split is called RNG grave digging, and the reason that I waste so much time is that I'm worried about running out of will potions. I only have like 40 potions, I think, at this point, and I've ran out multiple times at this spot, and it actually kills the run. The way I should remedy this is plan when I'm going to buy potions for the whole game, which I think I'm going to buy them after the arena, and then both times that I have to go to Maze's office or room or whatever, and then I think I should have enough potions. What I'm doing right now is I'm going everywhere I can to buy potions, so I'm having to go up to this hotel, sleep in it because it's not daytime, and then buy from this guy. It just completely wastes time. I think I lose 2 minutes on the grave digging site, partially because of this, partially because the RNG is actually the worst it can be, and I'll explain that when we get to that part. Alright, RNG grave digging time. The reason I call it the RNG grave dig is you have to find 3 tablets. You have to find 4, but one of them's in a set spot. So you have to find 3 tablets in these digging spots, and it's completely random every time. So the reason this one goes, it goes pretty bad for me. One, because I wasted so much time prior to this trying to buy potions, which I didn't come very close to running out. At the end of the run, I think I looked and I had like 40. But another reason why I lose so much time on this is because the last tablet that I need to find is in the absolute last grave spot that you can dig before going too far. Also, something I learned about this is that once I did find my last one, you're going to find an ice troll, and it looks like there's a barrier behind him, but there's not. You could just keep walking past him. So, if you're ever wondering, like why I'm so hesitant, or like whether or not you have to kill that ice troll, you do not. Alright, alright. So now, you've got to decide who you're going to kill, whose souls you're going to gather for the mask. For the speed run, you got to be the bad guy, and you got to kill the fastest people, which is always killing the good guys. So Thunder, I do extremely well on this fight. You want to hit them, target them, hit them without any kind of buffs, because they go away as soon as that little cutscene goes. And then Berserker, multi-strike, you should be able to two-shot them. And then you go on to the next person, and she's pretty tough. Alright, this one is pretty easy to figure out. You just you use Inflame to knock out all the illusions, and then the last one you hit will be the real one. Then you don't have to use Berserker on this one. You just use multi-strike and you hit her until she pops out on her shield. Shielding gets kind of tricky because if you're kind of slow to whip out your weapon, which I am for whatever reason almost every time, maybe I don't like the Q button, I don't know. But she has pretty strong spells. They're pretty similar to Jack's spells, the first fight. And so this is pretty much the fight for her. This is also a spot in the game where I check my potions. If you want, you could buy more potions at this point, but I think if you buy them at the spots I was talking about earlier, which is right after the arena, and then both the times that you have to go to Maze's office to start the quest, I think you'll have plenty of potions. And as long as you buy, there's other potion buys that you have to do, like whenever you buy sell from the arena, and then whenever you buy all the potions out of Oakvale right before the Bandit quest, you have to do that too. This part, you know, fighting the Guildmaster, he's pretty easy because one, you don't really fight him, but Berserk, if you have Berserk at 4 and you have multi-strike pretty high, you'll be able to one-shot every one of these guys, and you just run around. You just run around killing these guys. It's pretty much as easy as the beetle quest you do when you very first start the game. So, and then you get the kick. I don't know if you can read the splits I have, but it's kick the Guildmaster, and that's when I hit the split. You can't actually skip this cutscene, so you have to watch yourself kick the Guildmaster and stab him. It's pretty funny and awesome. Alright, so it's time for the Jack fight, the final fight of the game. This is the end of the run. It's a pretty difficult fight. It's the most difficult boss fight for me. I don't have a superset way of doing it, but I wish I would have used slow time instead of berserk at the start, and then set up my berserk and my multi-strike. Once he hops up and does that little earthquake thing, you can assassin charge right through it, which is what I did. That way I didn't get hit. You can kill him before he flies up like this and goes into like a phase 2 type thing, but I wasn't able to do it, so I have to kind of run around and kill these guys until he flies back down and I can hit him in the face with my sword again. Okay, and once you throw the mask, you throw the mask by just hitting left click. I hit the timer, and that's what I consider the end of the real time record. At the end of these credits, it's gonna tell me I can check my in-game time, which is what SDA and like I said at the beginning of the run, every other YouTube video that I've seen. That's what they go by, so that's what I'm gonna go by. The reason I don't skip this cutscene is, one, it's kind of a thing to as a speedrunner to watch the last cutscene, and then two, if you skip it, it takes you to the beginning screen, and you don't get to see your real in-game time, which is disastrous. I mean, you did the whole run for nothing if you can't see your in-game time at the end. I really appreciate anyone who watches this. Sorry again for no sound, and sorry for all the dropped frames and then the quality of the video. I was streaming on Twitch. I have a low internet connection. It's just how it is. I'm in college trying to do my thing, and sometimes I like to stream Fable. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope more people get into speedrunning this, because it's a really cool game, and I think that it can be broken a lot. There's a lot of ways to clip and stuff, and then I would also like to do other kinds of runs. I want to do a 50 keys run. I want to do a good guy run where you only do good things. A bad guy run where you do the opposite, do bad guy things. Like a fist only run where you can't attack anyone with anyone but your fist. I mean, just fun stuff. Feel free to subscribe if you like. I'll probably post another video whenever I either maybe find some glitches on Fable I could probably post, or if I get another PB or feel like doing some kind of tutorial thing, I'll definitely put it on YouTube. And then also, more often than I will be on YouTube, I'll be on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/giantsteps92, all one word. And I'm probably the only guy who does Fable, who's currently streaming on Twitch. So again, I really appreciate it. Feel free to skip on the video past all of this to look at the end and to see my in-game time if you really want to see it, if you can even read it at this quality. So thanks, really appreciate it. See ya. Alright, now that we're done watching all the credits, I know all of you guys watched all the credits. You can just look at your personality, see how long it took. It took me an hour and 45 minutes, which is really awesome. The world record, as far as I know, is an hour and 37 minutes. So it's pretty close. And my personal best before this was an hour and 50 minutes. So I cut 10 minutes off of that. And then before that, my personal best was 2 hours and 10 minutes. So I'm cutting it down, but I think now that I've hit 145, it's going to be pretty tough for me to get any faster. But easily possible. I mean, I can save so much time. It's just going to be very difficult for me. It's going to take a lot of runs. So thanks again for coming out. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was entertaining or educational. If you feel like running this game, it's a great game. Again, I will try to post more stuff on here, so if you want to subscribe, that's cool. I only have one video right now. I'll try to put some glitches or other runs, and then I also will be on Twitch more than I will be on here. So on Twitch, I'm twitch.tv/giantsteps92. It's all one word, giant steps and then the number 92. So thanks, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.